What it do? We back with another video. Proper oregano, chilling, talking. Today we're about to discuss everywhere that I have vacationed to or traveled to. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Vacation or travel, visited, I guess you could call. But I'm not gonna count states that I drove through, because that doesn't really count. That's just more of like, that's like saying you went to Pennsylvania when you really just went to Erie to go shopping. That ain't it. So I'm gonna just do places that I've vacationed to or visited or spent time in. So I guess I'll start from the beginning. I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida. The best place in the world. I lived there till I was 8. I lived all over in Florida, West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Pompano, Delray, Key West, all over. When I got to be 8 years old, 7 years old, I moved to Ohio, which is where I currently reside at, in Ohio. So Ohio is one. Every summer, we try, me and my mom's side of the family tries to do our best to make a visit to Florida. Obviously with COVID, Corona this year, we didn't make the trip. I just recently moved back from Florida again, just about going on a year ago. So I'll start with like my first vacation that wasn't Florida. I drove, me, my mom, and my sister drove from around Cleveland, Ohio to Chicago, Illinois. Met my grandpa, my grandma up there. We all just spent the weekend together. It was like November. I mean, it was freezing cold. There was literally signs posted everywhere that said, "Look up for falling icicles" off the skyscrapers in Chicago, which is pretty cool because you could literally just like walk past these buildings and just see like 5-foot fucking tall icicles and stuff. I thought those are so cool. I got to see the I don't know what the official name for it, but the Big Bean, the bean sculpture. So that was pretty cool. That thing is huge. I went into it was called the Sears Tower. I'm not sure what it is now. The Sears Tower, the one with like 100 some floors. Went to the very top. That was probably the best. Okay, that was probably the best. Our pizza's here, in case you guys were wondering what that was. But that was probably the best like view of a city I've ever had. You were literally above the world, like just looking at everything, like you could see out over the whole city. Every skyscraper looked tiny. I mean, you were like looking at the roofs of skyscrapers. That was crazy to me. So Chicago. I vacationed to Daytona Beach. I went to Delray Beach as well, but Daytona Beach, my sister she was on a competition cheer team. She was on a competition cheer team, and they made it to nationals or whatever you want to call it. So we had to travel from Ohio down to Daytona. And we stayed there like 4 days. There's our pizza. That's what I was talking about. Stayed there for like 4 days, 5 days with a 3-day competition, and then we spent 2 days with my family and stuff. That was honestly one of the coolest experiences of my life. One, because I didn't have to do anything. It was all my sister's competition, so I literally just got to hang out, vibe, all that stuff. And her actual show and performance, like the contest, was on a beach. So like they literally just built a stage right next to the ocean. Like if you fucked up and like you flipped too far on the stage, you were literally landing in the ocean. Like that's how close we were. So that was cool. We literally spent the whole like 3 days just outside on the beach, just basically listening to music, watching a bunch of performances. That was probably one of the coolest like vacations. And like my whole family was there, so it's always better when you got like everyone to, fucking spend it with and stuff. I went to Virginia. My uncles live there. I actually lived with them before I moved to Florida for a couple months, like a month, 2 months. And Virginia is so cool because got so much stuff around it. So I live like right on the border of Virginia, so we could be in Virginia, go down, peek into West Virginia real quick. Literally a 20 minute, 40-minute drive to West Virginia. And then, I mean, like, literally 15 minutes down the road was Washington, D.C. And, like, you got into Maryland, all that stuff. So, we went to D.C. I went to the dispensary in D.C. That place was fucking dope. It was just, like, seeing the city. D.C. is such a dope city because there's so much jobs, so much everything goes on right there. So, like, it's just... If you're not looking at one thing, you can look at something else and be entertained, basically. There's always something to do. There's always something to see or, like, something to learn about, I guess. All different types of, like, the monuments, the fucking... What's that thing called? Reflecting pool, like, all that stuff. That stuff was so cool, seeing all those stuff that I learned about in school. So, D.C. was cool. Living in Virginia was so cool. Key West was probably, like, one of my favorite places. If not, like... to visit, it was my favorite place to live for sure. When my uncle lived down there before he moved to Virginia, he stayed in Key West, and I mean, like, the water is like the ocean water is like literal just drinking water. Like, you can go in 10 feet, 15 feet, and you can just look down and see the bottom clear as day. So that was like one of the coolest experiences ever. Just like being able to swim and look down, just seeing big ass fish, whatever was swimming down there. That was really cool. Key West was dope. Daytona, I said. West Palm, I told you I was born in. I went to Pompano Beach and Deerfield Beach. Pompano Beach has the best donut shop or breakfast place that I've ever been to in my life. It's called Dandy's Donuts. And that is literally the best place I've ever been in my life for donuts. They have a cake battered donut. It's literally just a cake, like a cake donut. And oh my God, it is so good. Like the best donut in the world that I've ever eaten. And I love donuts. But that is literally the best donut I've ever eaten. So like everywhere in Florida, Virginia, Chicago, I mean Ohio ain't really nothing. I've been to like fucking Cleveland Cavs shit, like Brown Stadium, Cleveland Stadium, or Indian Stadium. I guess none of that shit's really like exciting to me because I live around it, so like it's like an everyday thing. It's not something like new. That's the thing with Florida, you could really go anywhere, and if you just went one city over, there was something new or something different that you didn't have in the last city, like a place to eat or like tourist attraction, anything. What was that? What city was that in when we went to the botanical garden? Yeah, I don't know either.
Wasn't that by your grandparents' new house, Vero?
So somewhere near Vero Beach, we went to a botanical garden. That was like one of the coolest days ever. I mean, it's literally just 50, 60, like probably like a full football field of just, I mean, like fresh water, just like lakes, whatever, like all the plants, flowers you can imagine, just wildlife everywhere. That was just so cool to just be surrounded by all nature and just like, I don't even know. That was just one of the best experiences ever. I also went to a Field of Flowers place in Virginia. That was pretty cool. It was just like a giant, it was like a family-owned barn. They sold like homemade honey, stuff like that, like all their little homemade remedies. And then they had just a big like just acre of like all types of flowers, sunflowers, like fucking tulips, dandelions, literally everything you can think of. And you could just go in there. You paid like $5 or like $10 for 2 people or whatever, and you could get a cup and however many flowers you could cut off and fit in that cup, you could take home. So it was like so cool just to go. You could just like customize your own like little bouquet or whatever. Have like whatever you want to bring home. That was so cool. We brought home a jar of honey, which was so good, and we each got our own little bouquet. But that was cool. But yeah, I haven't really been I haven't been anywhere outside the U.S. actually. I've been to Canada I went to the Niagara Falls side of or the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, I should say. But that doesn't really count either. But other than that, I went to like Miami, Florida, everywhere in Florida, literally. And I've been in North Carolina. I did a marketing show in North Carolina that I worked for my uncle. They have an event company, and they go around and just like build stages, the lights, all the background, all the fucking what's it called, like slideshows and like screens that go behind people when they're talking, like animations, all that stuff. We built the whole stage. It was a 2-3 day event, and basically just chilled out there for like a week. I got there 4 days early to set up, and then a 3-day event. So I was out there for a week. That was so cool, just like meeting new people, all coming together to just do one like big task. And like the show was dope. I mean, the show was like not really anything I personally cared about. It was just like basically people marketing their stuff, trying to sell you stuff. But like it was just so cool to think like we brought the whole show together for, you know, 10,000, 15,000, however many people was there, 20,000 people to come watch. So that was dope. But I mean, yeah, I really think I covered shit, all my places I vacation to. So if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, tune in for the next one. Feel free to chill, all that stuff. I appreciate you guys. Peace.